Welcome to another episode of Riding and Wrenching.
The biggest little YouTube channel on the entire interweb.
I am your host, Q the Rider, and in today's episode, I'm going to talk about my 2023 Harley Davidson CVO Road Glide. Now, one of the reasons I bought this bike was all the amazing technology in it, including the 121 VVT motor. And ever since I bought this bike, I bragged about how fuel efficient the motor in this bike is. I'm just absolutely blown away. The best fuel efficiency I've gotten out of this bike, I got about 50 miles per gallon on a road trip riding by myself. I have no idea how the fuel economy was so good on that trip. That only happened once. But overall, the fuel economy on this bike has been significantly better than the fuel economy that I get on my 2018 Road Glide with the 107. Now, my test comparison for that is I can ride my CVO from Memphis to Buc-ee's, that's just outside of Birmingham, Alabama, without stopping for fuel. I don't even get close to that with my 18 Road Glide, with the 107. So I've always known that this bike was more efficient than the 107. But Harley Davidson has other motors. It has the 114, and it also has the 117 that's in the 24 Road Glide and Street Glide. So I was wondering, how much more efficient is the motor in my CVO compared to Harley's other two engines? Well, I just completed a trip from Memphis, Tennessee to Milwaukee, Wisconsin with two members of my motorcycle club. One of them has a 22 Ultra Limited that has a 114. The other one has a 24 Road Glide that has the 117. So let's do a test. Before I get started, I have to recognize the sponsors for Riding and Wrenching. We have Wings Customs, the maker of custom handlebars and other accessories for your Harley, and Volunteer Audio, who will make your sound system sound amazing. So check them out and let them know that you heard about it here on Riding and Wrenching. Now let's talk about my test. So we rode from Memphis, Tennessee to Milwaukee, and the leg of the trip that we measured the fuel economy was approximately 583 miles. We stopped for gas 4 times during that trip, and I'm going to tell you the efficiency or how much gas was required to refill the tank on each bike on each leg of the journey, and we also recorded how much range the trip computer said that we had left. So the first leg of the journey was 144 miles. The 22 Ultra Limited with the 114 required 4.184 gallons of gas, and that equates to 34.5 miles per gallon. Range on the computer said it had 60 miles of range left. Not bad. Well, that's about what I expected it to be. My Road Glide, my CVO Road Glide, required 3.85 gallons of gas. That equates to 37.5 miles per gallon. My trip computer said I had 93 miles of range left, so I beat the 114 about the way I expected it to. It actually, there are no surprises there. The surprise came in when I looked at the fuel that we put into the 24 Road Glide. The 24 Road Glide only required 3.5 gallons of gas. That came up to 41.2 miles per gallon, and it still had 104 miles of range left. That was shocking. I couldn't believe it. But there we were. That was the first leg of the trip, and my thought was, that's a fluke. Certainly the second leg is going to be different. So on the second leg, we went a little bit faster and a little bit farther. 172 miles, almost 173 miles. The 22 Ultra Limited required 4.8 gallons of gas, and the fuel economy improved to 36 miles per gallon. Couldn't believe it. The range remaining was 36 miles on the Ultra Limited. On my CVO, required 4.42 gallons of gas. Fuel economy went up to 39 miles a gallon. My range left was 61 miles. So again, I beat the 114. No surprise there. The surprise came with the Road Glide, 24 Road Glide, because it only required 4 gallons of gas, and that came in at 43 miles a gallon. Now I'm starting to wonder what's going on here, because I was expecting this bike to beat the brakes off of both of those motors. But as it stands right now, yeah, I was beating the 114 in fuel economy, but the 117 was better. So maybe the third leg was going to be different because I went faster. Maximum speed was probably about 90, but our cruising speed was 85 miles an hour. So the next leg was 150 miles. The 114 required 4.9 gallons of gas, 30 miles per gallon. That's what I was expecting. The 121 VVT in this bike, fuel economy dropped on that one as well, required 4.47 gallons of gas, came in at 33.6 miles a gallon. That was a surprise. But the big surprise came with the 117. Required 3.9 gallons of gas, and that's 38.25 miles per gallon. We have a pattern. The 117 was more efficient. But I got one fuel stop left, and this time the speeds varied because most of this 125 miles was going through Chicago. And if you've been through Chicago, there's winter and then there's road construction season. We're in road construction season in Chicago, so the speeds varied from a dead stop up to probably 90 miles an hour. We were cooking where we could. So for this short leg, 125 miles, the 114 required 3 gallons of gas, 38.56 miles per gallon, and it still had 125 miles of range left. Not bad. The 121 in my CVO required 2.9 gallons of gas, only a tenth less, but that came in at roughly 40 miles per gallon. And the 117, once again, required 2.5 gallons of gas, 45 miles per gallon. The 117 consistently was the most fuel efficient motor on this trip. Unbelievable. So I started thinking about, well, were there some other variables that I haven't factored in? Well, one of them is weight. The stock weight of the 114 is 917 pounds, so it's the heaviest of the bikes. This 23 CVO came in at 862 pounds stock. In other words, without my Tourpack. So it's roughly 50 pounds lighter than the 114 or than the Ultra Limited. But the 24 Road Glide with the 117 is 838 pounds. So it's 25 pounds lighter than my CVO. And I'm probably 60 pounds heavier than that rider. So that 24 Road Glide had probably about a 90 pound advantage in weight over my bike. Is that enough to cause the difference in fuel economy? I'm not sure. There's other factors that could affect fuel economy, and tire pressure is one. I did check my tire pressure before I left. It was good. I did not check the other bikes, but obviously the 24 Road Glide must have been okay because it beat me. It can't be aerodynamics because it's the same shape bike. So I don't know what else to attribute it to other than weight, or the 117 is just simply the more efficient motor. Why? I don't know, because I fully expected the variable valve timing technology and the new CVO to handily beat both bikes. Now, it did beat the 114 consistently, and I expected it to. I did not expect it to get beat by the 117. So the overall fuel economy for the trip, the 114 and the Ultra Limited clocked 34.5 miles per gallon. The 23 CVO Road Glide came in at 37 miles per gallon, and the 24 Road Glide with the 117 came in at 41.65 miles per gallon. I don't have an explanation for you other than what I've said. Now, there are some modifications done to each bike, so let's talk about those. The Ultra Limited has a cam and slip-on mufflers. The 117, the only mod done to that bike is slip-on mufflers and a detachable Tourpack. And on my CVO Road Glide, the only mod that I've done to this bike is a detachable Tourpack. So there you have it. The 117 and the Road Glide and Street Glides is more efficient in my test. Now, my next video where I'm going to do comparing these bikes, now I want to find out which one is fastest, because we're going to do some reasonable street racing to find out which one of our bikes can accelerate faster. We're not going to do anything crazy, but I do want to know which one of these bikes is faster. Is the 117, because it's lighter, is it going to be faster? Or is the VVT technology going to kick in and win something? We'll find out. you have any thoughts on this, in fact, let me know at the start of this video, what was your expectation on which bike you thought would be the most efficient? I'm just curious to know what you think. This is Q. I'm riding, I'm wrenching, and I am out. Okay, so tell me about your daughter's book.
The name of the book is Stepping Over Puddles of Pain. She's talking about grieving her father, which is my husband, passed away some years ago, and so she's written a book.
Okay, and how do you find that book?
It's on Amazon.
Yep.
Stepping Over Puddles of Pain by Taylor DeBose.
Now, you said your daughter was is in medical school?
17 years old.
You said she's 17 years old in medical
She's 17,
school?
yes.
17. So we had to make sure we hit that. Well, thank you. And you wish your daughter the best, brother.
I do.
All right.